how to ace speaking in English, how to answer questions when you don't know what to say. Let's find out. When you take an online English course, for example, it should contain a lot of speaking practice. Like we do at English for IT, when we create our courses, you have to record your answers to questions for about 1 to 3 minutes. Some of the topics might not be familiar to you. Others might be completely new and unknown. Here are a few tips on how to easily answer any question when you don't know what to talk about, not only for English course, but also for life. Number one, be flexible. Be open to answering any question. Don't think that a question is not relevant to your job or that you know nothing about it. For example, if you are asked to talk about, let's say, the advantages of VR technology and you know nothing about it or very little about VR, you can research the topic and talk about what you have discovered. You can also talk about related technology such as AR. You can talk about anything you have ever heard about VR. You can even say why you are not interested in the VR technology. Tip number 2, use the question in the course as an opportunity to practice new vocabulary. Every time you do a speaking task, recall the new vocabulary you've recently learned and try to use it in your answer. This way you will turn your passive vocabulary into active vocabulary. Tip number 3, say that you don't know. It's okay to say, I don't know, I don't care, but you have to do it politely. Feel free to use some of these phrases that I'm going to teach you now. I'm not sure I have an answer to this question. I would need to ask my colleagues about it because I am just not knowledgeable in this area. This is a very hard question for me to answer. It's hard to think of anything off the top of my head. I've just never thought about this question before. Tip number 4, practice talking about nothing. This is a very important skill for meetups, for small talk, for networking, even for job interviews. What are the advantages of VR? The question is. It's a hard question for me to answer because I have no experience in VR. I know there are a lot of VR games, but I've never played them. Actually, the only video game I've ever played is Doom. As you can see from the example, I didn't say anything about advantages of VR, but I still gave a polite, detailed, and relevant answer. Remember, the speaking questions in the course or the difficult questions in life help you not only develop your vocabulary and fluency, but also overall communication skills. So use these tips that I shared with you to become a better communicator in English.